Alright guys, BLM here, back with another live stream, and we are here after episode 2 of Survivor 42, and yeah, we're going to start Assassin's Creed Revelations. So that's something, got to change the category, because again, Twitch sucks with these games, but whatever. Just jump into the game. Is it not going to let me change the category? Whatever. All right, but yeah, we have quite a bit to talk about, right? I was a Survivor. We got an episode of Australian Survivor, but who really fucking cares? What was it? BB Can has been insane. Beyond the Edge. Watch that. That was terrible. And what else was there? I feel like there's something else. But either way, challenge rewatch. I finally finished my challenge rewatch. So, and I am probably going to end up recording the ranking tomorrow. I did spend a decent amount of time trying to solidify the list right before I start streaming, which I'm still like a bit iffy on certain things, but whatever. There we go. Finally changed the category. I don't know why it took so long. Whatever. So yeah, starting a bit early here, just because, like, to be honest, I don't have anything else I want to do tonight. I don't really feel like starting anything, and like I was gonna start within 20 minutes anyway, so whatever. So yeah, let's do it. I guess I can't override that save, right? I mean, I can, but I don't really want to. So I guess we'll do this one. Let's do it. Oh, I forgot to ask you the. Whatever. We can keep him like this for a few days. Maybe yeah, Survivor was fine. I mean, I really felt like it was, just pretty standard episode, like pretty basic vote. I'm a bit confused edgically right now, where I don't know who's, where I just feel like it was, it's like a lot of the top contenders I had from last episode are people that, like, didn't get the greatest edits in this episode. Well, like some of the ones that didn't have the greatest premieres, or like had like fine premieres, got pretty solid episode 2. So, overall conflicted on Edgic here, to where like I still feel like there's probably like 10 people that can probably still win at this point. So I mean, and that's pretty good. I mean, for a Survivor, again, they're doing their job. They're not Australian Survivor. Hey Justin, what do you think about BB Can? I mean, I think at this point, like, I was a bit, so last time I streamed, I hadn't gotten, like, fully caught up on the feed stuff and everything. At this point, I'm mostly caught up, and, I mean, this is, like, obviously there's a debate for this, but, like, I feel like this is possibly the worst HOH week in history of, at least BB Can, and probably BBUS. I mean, like, the thing is, like, it's not necessarily the worst in terms of, like, he's still technically coming out of this week with, like, what, 2 solid allies in JC and Gino, and then has, like, other people that are not directly targeting him, but he does have about, like, half the house probably targeting him, or at least would be, like, fine with him going. So, like, obviously that's not great. He is one of his closest allies, and Marty is now, like, fully willing to flip on him. That's not great. But it's like, it's like considering the position he came into this week, and like considering how easy of an HOH week this could have been, it's like the fact that he did so actively bad is what's making this a potential worst HOH week of all time. Because like there's been other HOHs where like people come out of that week like pretty much dead to rights. And like Kyle isn't necessarily that, though it is, again, pretty likely he goes home within the next few weeks. But it's like, again, he came into this week the number 1 contender. Like, he should have been, like, number 1 or number 2. Like, he should have been the person that, like, he should have been, like, the Derek that solidifies the power structure in week 3 by taking out an easy target. And then he should be able to steamroll the game. But instead, he nominates his own allies. He can't even get out his own target this week. Like, it's really bad. Hello? So it's like, in terms of like a downfall, like in terms of like where he was at the beginning of the week to where he was at the end of the week, I think this is like 100% the worst HOH week. Quite possibly in the history of the show. To where I don't know if we've had someone that was like completely in control of the game and then come out of the week like where like 3/4 of the house wants him out, essentially. Like, that's pretty fucking bad. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty bad. But yeah, Survivor episode, yeah, I think it's another episode that like focuses a lot on it focused a lot on the people themselves. I do feel like we're still lacking a lot gameplay wise, where I still feel like there are a decent amount of people that I don't really know where they are in the game. And like that's kind of my issue, but like overall, like, fine episode. Again, vote was kind of boring. Like Mariah, god fucking damn it, Mariah going home, whatever. Not super surprising there, but
walk with me.
Still, I think there's a lot of potential for a season moving forward.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's just I feel like this episode 2 is just kind of like whatever.
The original test program.
But yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, again, like I talked about that right at the beginning of the stream. In comparison to Australian Survivor, it's like
you're lucky
very, very different, obviously. Like, I mean, I think I looked at the confessional chart. There's not a single person that's gotten less than 3 confessionals already after episode 2, which is insane. Like I don't think, like, when was the last time that's happened ever? Because like I was even looking through like recent seasons of Survivor US, and that hasn't even happened in Survivor US in at least the last like 10 seasons. So like I don't know if that's ever happened ever, to where like every single person has gotten at least 3 confessionals by episode 3 or by after episode 2. To where like even last season, like Heather only had 1 after episode 2. But yeah, I mean, it's a very balanced edit, and because I am a bit confused. I don't know if confused is the right word, but like I don't know where exactly to go edgic-wise.
Nothing left to show you. That is
Like, I'm trying to remember who I had at the top. I moved Marianne to the top. Or not Marianne, Omar to the top. Sorry, I saw Marianne's name in the chat. But yeah, I moved Omar to the top. Again, like, he was someone that was, like, I think number 4. By the way, I did redo my power ranking after the stream, last stream. Like, I did it, like, a few days ago. Because I did rewatch certain parts of the episode. But yeah, I moved Omar up to 4. I think he was, like, number 7 last time or the first, like, immediately after the first episode. And to be fair, I'll do the same thing with this episode. I'll reanalyze things, but, yeah, right now Omar's number 1. To me, it's like he's the only person that had, like, what I would, like, he was the only top contender for me, from episode 1 that didn't have, like, that at least had a good episode 2, I should say. Because, like, really, again, like, my top contenders after last week were Mike had a really bad episode here. You had Drea, who had, like, not necessarily a bad episode, but, like, not the greatest episode either. Who else was there? Jenny was just, like, kind of a nothing episode. I will say, Jenny, I'm not feeling, I feel like Jenny, like, the thing is, like, she's still a top contender, because, again, she got a confessional that first episode about being a designer and whatnot, which, like, had her high after episode 1, but I feel like at this point, considering, like, we've seen pretty much nothing of her in episode 2 outside her finding the crab, and, like, just everyone on her tribe except for Lydia, has gotten, like, more content than her. Like, I think she's being set up to be, like a Mari Takahashi sort of figure. Where, or, like, maybe, like, an Allie Elliott or something like that, where probably, like, a late pre-merge sort of boot. Someone that's, like, being propped up as, like, someone that could have a lot of potential in the game, but then doesn't actually do that well. So that's something. But I have her at 4. I'm trying to look. So, yeah, my current power rankings: Omar 1, Daniel 2. Because, again, this was a pretty good episode for Daniel. I still don't feel, like, great about Daniel in the grand scheme of things, because I do feel like, I mean, the thing about this season 2 is that I feel like we got at the very, very beginning, I forgot if it was, like, I think it was, like, at some point, like, right before the challenge or something. It wasn't, like, one of the first few confessionals, but there was talk about, like, the most well-rounded player is going to win this game. Like, that was said. And I I feel like it was brought up again this episode. I forgot who said it, but like to me, I feel like that is going to be a motif with this season, to where like that is who's going to win this season, is the person who is perceived to be the most well-rounded player. So I assume it's going to be someone that is physical, strategic, and social. The question is, who is that person? Who fits into that? And like when looking at my top contenders right now, again, Omar, Daniel, I don't think they're the most well-rounded players. So, and like we actually explicitly got this episode talking about Omar and Jonathan not being the most well-rounded players, with them talking about how, everything he's good at, I'm good at, or everything he's good at, or everything I'm bad at, he's good at, whatever, either way. It's actually saying that them two together are like the perfect player, but them separate, like they're like Omar's the brains and Jonathan is the brawn. Like I feel like that is not a great sign in terms of the motif of the season, unless we're saying that like are Omar and Jonathan going to be the like dominant figures of the season? Like, are they going to run this season? Because if that's the case, then I feel like it's fine. I feel like that could rationalize the well-roundedness element of it. But like if that is the motif of the season, then like that's not a great sign for either of them. But like Mike could potentially be that person. But again, I just feel like he had such a bad episode 2 here. That yeah, like I don't know. Like the thing is, like he has gotten to talk about his physical strength. He has gotten to talk about. Like during the decision between Savvy and Sweat, he got some good content there. Like he had a good premiere. It's just that I feel like this episode 2 is not the greatest, but again, that could just be like them trying to mess with the Edgic community. Which I will say, like I think as a whole, I get the sense that production is very onto Edgic trends at this point, to where I don't know if we can like fully like follow a lot of like traditional traditional trends, whatever. So it's like I don't know. We'll see. I think it's going to be more about like storytelling and like the themes of the season more so than about like who's on the complex tribe. And to be fair, it's always been like that. But I feel like for a lot of the like before 41, I feel like you could follow a lot of these other trends and like kind of pick out the winner that way, where I feel like 41 was so based around storytelling and just the story of the season and someone's arc across the season. I feel like this season's probably going to be a similar thing. Now, I don't think it will be the same thing as in we're going to get an Erica winner necessarily of like this under the radar sort of person, but I think it is going to be someone that fully fits with the themes of the season. And I don't know who that is. That's my problem right now. Like I'm looking at I'm high would be a top contender. It's just that I feel like so much of his content feels like a journey edit more so than a winner edit. Where he even got a confessional talking about how he's I don't know exactly what it was, but it was like something essentially that it's okay if I don't win as long as whatever. Mariah got a similar sort of confessional, but I mean Erica didn't get a journey edit. I assumed she was getting a journey edit at first, but it's not really a journey edit of I'm gonna learn about myself. That's not what Erica got. Erica got essentially I know I am a lion, but I'm going to pretend I am a lamb, and then I'm going to show them I'm a lion. That's not really a journey edit. That's not her transforming actually into a lion. That's her already being a lion, but just not showing it until the end. And it's a similar thing to what Tony got in 40, just obviously Tony got a much bigger edit. It was much more blatant. Did anyone get that sort of confessional this season? I don't think so, right? Actually, no, Omar did, right? Yeah, Omar did. That was his first confessional. I don't know. Again, I feel like it's just very, very tough to gauge ethically who's winning this so far. But yeah, I went... Okay. So yeah, right now, Omar 1, Daniel 2, Swati 3, but I don't know. Like I feel like yeah, I just don't know. Like episode 1 was a good episode for Swati. Again, I was like kind of like on her when I did my stream immediately after the premiere, but I did rewatch it and I feel like more like I feel better about Swati, considering it does feel like they were trying to give her credit for the Zack boot. And then obviously now she gets more strategic credit with her seeming to like lead the charge on I don't know why I just did that on the blind side on Drea, which I don't think is actually going to happen. So like that's yeah, like I don't know. I don't feel that great, but like I feel like in terms of like purely looking at the Edgic, like it's there. Like there is a potential winning edit there. And the same thing goes with Jenny. So there's that. 5 is Drea. Who again, I think Drea is going to get longevity in this season. Like I think Drea is essentially going to be like the Shan of this season, where they're going to be in there for a while, going to be a big player, has a lot of advantages, and probably not going to win. I think that's probably what I see with Drea. Yeah, like I suspect that Drea is probably going to end up outplaying Swati. Considering again, like Drea's been portrayed as such a big player that, like considering Swati is so early on here targeting Drea, like I just don't think it's actually going to work out for her. But we'll see. Who's 6? Oh, Mike is 6 now. Jonathan is at 7. Who got bumped up quite a bit. And again, it's like he had a good episode too. I think Omar still got a better episode 2 based around like the content they got together, but what was it? His episode 1 was like kind of just fine. Like again, like he didn't get really any setup relationships in episode 1, which was like my big issue, and also like barely got any content. He did at least get like the first confessional, so it's like at least there's that. But you know, what I think of the episode, I already talked about it. Like, nah, it's like whatever. Like feels like an episode that's like mostly setting up things more so than like the episode itself actually mattering or actually being that interesting in its own right, I guess. Or again, like the I keep on saying Mariah, who is like really like mundane to me. Like it was just like I was like, okay, she's obviously going on. Which, by the way, also makes it even more obvious considering we know Marianne finds the Beware advantage because they showed that in the trailers. So it's like obviously she's not going home here. But yeah, like Mariah's just like whatever. Again, felt it was pretty apparent she was going home. But again, there were good character moments here and there. I feel like we get to know the cast quite a bit at this point. I do also like that we got to spend time with the tribes that didn't get as much content in episode 1, where the Ika tribe like barely got anything this episode. And also interestingly, something I did notice that I feel like they showed things out of place with the Ika tribe. Where like you can see in the footage that like Tori is like healing her like knee, which clearly looks like an injury that she got from the immunity challenge. So it's like it's weird. So essentially, I think this happened after the immunity challenge, like the footage that they got of them talking about like targeting Drea and that sort of thing. Like I suspected that happened after, but they showed it before, just because like obviously that's the way the episodes are structured. Had a feeling Orange was going to tribal. I didn't. I thought Ika was going to tribal. Like I felt pretty. Like I thought it was Tori coming into the episode. I'm trying to think who else. Like yeah, it was probably like Tori, like possibly like a Swati. If she was to get like this like Mari Takahashi-esque edit. But yeah, like I did think it was them. So yeah, I was kind of surprised by that, to be honest. Especially because like I think I thought the Orange tribe was the strongest tribe. Mind you, it's a blindfold challenge, so it's like there's not much to that, I guess, in terms of physical strength and everything. But yeah, I was not expecting them to go to tribal, especially because they were in the lead, right? Like until the puzzle. So that's something. Do I think Tori? Do I think Tori will make the jury? Like, I think she can, like I think Tori can be like the Sydney of the season, like a potential like merge boot. Like I feel like that's like a possibility. I think it comes down to how many times does Ika go to tribal moving forward, where like if Drea. So the thing again, like I don't think Drea is going home before the merge, especially considering they have this like Lindsay High storyline. Like and they brought it up again this episode and like really focused on it to where like I feel like they're for sure making the merge together. Like I would be very surprised if they don't. So like at that point, it's like I feel like it's either like Swati or Tori that are going to go home, like with them trying to take out Drea. And I still could see Tori going out that way, of her being the one that gets the fall for it, but, yeah, fuck. Again, her edit is like, her episode 1 at least was filled with a lot of negativity. I feel like her episode 2, okay, fine, fuck, I guess I'll fight them. Yeah, like her episode 2 was like fine. Like she got like this content talking about like this is her dream and all that stuff. Like did she ever even get to talk about the actual Drea thing? No, right? Like I don't think she got a confessional there. Which like that could just all be a red herring too. Like it could also just like lead to literally nothing. And for all we know, like, Ika doesn't even go to tribal again. Like, that could just, like, literally be nothing but, like, just a red herring to throw into the episode to add some intrigue. But, yeah, who else was there? Then, I'm trying to run through the power ranking. Let's just pause this real quick so I can bring it up. Yeah, then High's 8... Which, again, I think he's more of a journey edit at this point, but still, like, has enough content to potentially win. I do feel like he was just missing, like, I feel like his episode 1 was kind of lacking. Especially, like, the first thing we hear about him is him talking about, like, game theory or whatever. Or no, he was talking about twists, right? He's talking about, like, how the twists are going to have a big thing on the season, which, like, that's not the greatest, like, introductory confessional there. Chanel I moved up to 9. Again, she was much lower. Not necessarily that I feel great about Chanel, considering I don't think there's like a story revolving around her necessarily, but I feel like we have like a decent sense of where she is on our tribe at this point. She is the one that got the content talking about like the dynamics of the tribe in episode 1, so it's like at least there's that. It's just that I don't think she has like a story revolving around her. I moved Marianne down to 10, mainly because like I do feel like this episode's content was pretty bad. I mean, like, it's bad, but, like, also it's, like, not that bad. Like, it's bad in the sense that, like, she does get undermined at the very beginning, but then she's undermined by Mariah, who's the person that goes home. So, like, it's not that detrimental in the grand scheme of things. But, like, she's known that, like, I don't know where, like, what is her story, necessarily? And also, I feel like at this point, her edit's, like, looking as, like, more of actually, I guess her story, actually, I just thought about that. Her story's, like, still that, like, weirdo thing, right? Where she talks about how, she wants to show weirdos that they can win. I kind of forgot about that confessional for now. I don't know, maybe I should bump her up then. But, still, it's like, I feel like she's being propped up as more of a fan favorite at this point. And where would I bump her up to? Let's see. So, let's pause this real quick. So, like, I feel like she would be above High, then. Would she be above Jonathan? I don't think so. Because, like, I think at that point, it's like she just has no actual personal relationships displayed on the show, which I think is an issue. Yeah, I think I'd bump her up to 8, then. So High actually goes down. Either way. 11, Romeo. I feel even worse about Romeo at this point. Like, I already felt like after the premiere, like, while it was, like, fine enough, it also was one that, like, he gets undermined throughout that premiere. And like something I'd even pick up on is that, like, it's like the editor's like openly mocking him, where he talks about how like, oh, I'm cutting bamboo, and then they show footage of him like struggling to cut bamboo. Like it feels like the editors are looking at him as more of a joke than anything, and like he doesn't get his way. This episode, there was like a weird, I forgot what was Romeo's thing this episode, but like they also like undermined him again. So it's like, I feel like Romeo is like, fuck off. I don't think Romeo's winning this season. What I think will happen at the challenge next episode, I mean, like, I don't know, does someone like pass out, maybe? Like does someone like get hit their head or something, maybe? Like in the water, and then they have to like stop it for that reason? I don't know. I'm not even, like, again, I'm barely paying attention to the screen, and okay, I still made it. That's really sad. Yeah, so Romeo's 11, Roxroy's 12. He was one of only 2 people this episode to get no confessionals. Really didn't get pretty much anything, right? Outside, like, we saw like one conversation between him and Drea, and that didn't really mean much. Outside just reestablishing that, oh, Drea, Roxroy, and Romeo have an alliance, so... Like, I think that's what it was like the B-roll of Romeo when they were talking about him. I think that's the thing that I was, thinking that's not a great look. I forgot what it was. But yeah. So yeah, I have him at 12, and, okay, I'm not looking at the screen, I'm about to die. Tori, I moved up to 13, so she moved up, 2 spots. Again, like, I don't think she's winning, but... like, technically got fine content this episode, but again, I think just had a really bad premiere. Lindsay's at 14 just because, like, I feel like we get very little from Lindsay. Like, it's weird because, like, we got, like, a decent amount of, like, talk from her this episode, but got very little about her actual relationships from her. Like, we hear about them from other people. Jonathan talks about it, and then Omar talks about it, but, like, we see nothing from Lindsay herself. And, like, the only relationship that's being brought up is, like, her antagonistic relationship to Marianne. And I just feel like overall, like, Lindsay's not winning. I do think there's longevity there, again, with the advantage and everything, but I don't think she's winning. And then last place, I actually have Lydia, which is weird because, like, I don't even think Lydia is, like, getting that bad of an edit. Like, it's just, she's not really being that integral to the story at this point. It's like episode 1, like, she was already, like, kind of on the bottom of my contender. Like, she was on the bottom tier, but she was at the top because, like, she was the most prominent of the people that I didn't think got much of, like, a story or got much complexity. But because, like, she got, like, all these confessionals and I feel like it's there because, like, she's good at confessionals, but, like, didn't actually, like, matter to the overall story. And I feel like with this episode, her getting nothing again. I mean, this time literally getting nothing, but, like, no complexity, no anything. It's like, I just don't know where she's going. So yeah, we know about her relationship with, like, Hai, but outside that, we pretty much know nothing about her. So I don't think she's winning. But again, like, her being in last isn't necessarily that I think, like, oh, she's a terrible player, she's going home next or anything. It's like she's just there. What if Romeo gets the first ever UTR male winner edit? I mean, would he be UTR? Like, what was he in, like, this episode was UTR, but, like, I'm pretty sure episode 1 he was, like, at least MOR. I don't remember if he was, I mean, I'm sure he was complex, right? But either way, again, this is only episode 2. Like, we still have, like, what, 11 more episodes? So, yeah, I started early. Yeah, I'm just not, yeah, I don't have anything else that I need to do for today, so I was like, screw it, let's just start. Has there been a winner in recent history that has had an episode with no confessionals? Yes, Chris Underwood. I believe the only 2 in Survivor US are Chris Underwood and Tina to have no confessionals in episode 1. And they actually, are they the only in history? No, actually. Rob Dixon, now I think about it, also didn't. But again, that's Australian Survivor 2002. But yeah, it's like, I mean, no one on this season had 0 confessionals, episode 1. So, like, that's already out of the...
Nothing gets through.
Out of potential there. Erica had 2, Tony had 3, Tommy had 2, Chris had 0, as I said. Nick had 7. I forgot he got that many confessionals episode 1. He actually got the most confessionals episode 1. I actually didn't remember that. Wendell had 2, Ben had 2, Sarah had 1. Mind you, Sarah's 1 was like a really fucking good one. Adam had 5. Oh yeah, because he was the one that was like really propping up the Millennium Vision X team, right? Michelle had 2. Jeremy had 2. I mean, it looks like most winners like start with around like 2 or 3. Episode 1. Mike had 5. Nally had 2. Okay, well that's cool. Tony and Kagian only had 3. I think he would have had more. Oh, fuck off. Oh yeah, because there was a 2-parter. I forgot about that. Because like if we were including both parts, then it's 10. But he only got 3 in the first hour. Tyson only had 1. Yeah, like Tyson got like a pretty near invisible episode 1 in Blood vs. Water. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's hard to play this when I'm not even looking at the screen. Cochran got 6, Denise 3, Kim 2, Sophie 2, Boston Rob 1. But then again, like Boston Rob also got like even though he only got 1, it's like everyone else was talking about him. We have Fabio 3, Sandra 3. What's funny about Sandra? Sandra got 3 in episode 1, and then doesn't get a confessional again until episode 8. Like that is kind of insane. It's kind of thing too because like I'm pretty sure like Sandra was looked at as like a top contender the entire time also, which is kind of surprising. Mind you, Heroes vs. Villains was very spoiled, so like that could have played a factor. But yeah, it's weird that she was like considered a top contender like the entire time throughout the pre-merge, despite like getting no confessionals. Mind you, obviously confessionals aren't everything. Like she was present on the show still, despite getting no confessionals, but it is still kind of insane. Oh wait, Natalie White got 0 confessionals. I forgot about that. Yeah, Natalie White didn't get confessional until episode 4. God damn. Yeah, like Sandra, like gets 3 confessionals episode 1, and then doesn't get a confessional again until the coach boot. After that, she gets a confessional every, and she gets at least 2 every episode. But yeah, it's like there's a 6-episode drought there where she gets no confessional. Same thing with Danielle, which is funny. I actually realized that Danielle and Sandra have similar like confessional counts up until that point. Danielle only gets 8 confessionals in Heroes vs. Villains. That's something I completely forgot about. I didn't realize she got so little. Not that she was like that important to the story, especially when you had like Russell and Parvati to go to, but like that's insane.
This used to be so easy.
And Alleyway had 0, JT had 2, Bob had 3, Parvati had 3, Todd had 4, Earl had 4, Yule had 3, ours had 1. But then that was a weird premiere. What Danny had? Danny had 1. So that makes sense. Tom had 2, Chris 4, Amber 1, Sandra 9 in Pearl Islands. Then again, she got that segment about obviously the town and bargaining and all that stuff, so she was pretty important there. Jenna had 8 in episode 1. I didn't remember that she got 8 in episode 1 of Amazon. Brian Heideck only got 1, Visepia 2, Ethan 3, Tina 0, as I said, and then Richard 4. So yeah, it looks like 2 to 3, like if we're just going solely off confessionals, 2 to 3 is kind of the sweet spot in like overall. But then this is a weird season where like everyone had 2, so like it doesn't really matter in terms of that, so whatever. Thoughts on 3 people coming back from purgatory? Like why? Like is this just gonna be like another Pagonging essentially? Like are we just gonna have these people go home again? Like I think that would be hilarious. It would be hilarious, but also really fucking boring. But like it would be hilarious, just in concept at least. Because like I could definitely see that happening here. I mean, Jordy for sure goes home if he doesn't win immunity, right? I feel like there's 0% chance. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, there's no way that Jordy is getting through a round without immunity at this point. especially when like Josh is like openly telling him that, hey, you're going home. It's like because like at this point it's like they're just like Josh and Jordan are being portrayed as the swing votes in this like between like, are we going to target Mark and Sam or not? But it's like, again, there's no way that that Jordy is making it too far here, I don't think, unless he just straight up wins out, which again, there's no way he's winning out to the end. But yeah, like I feel like Jordy's for sure going home soon. There could potentially be like, I don't know, like, but then like, is like, when are they actually going to take out Sam if they are? Mark is for sure winning still. Like I can't imagine how Mark doesn't win at this point. But the question is, does he get to the end with Sam or not? I think that's the question to me. Like I'm not super solidified on that right now. But then again, like throughout these last few episodes, I've been thinking like, oh, Sam's probably going home here, like here or there, but like it just never happens. So like, is she going home then? Is Michelle, yeah, whatever that last name from BB4, right? Is the most forgettable BB player ever? I don't, not to me. Maybe in like the grand scheme of things, maybe. But like to me, like I feel like I remember her. I don't know, who would be the most forgettable Big Brother player? Like I feel like someone like Lori to me is more forgettable from BB5 than Michelle is. Let's see. Cage is gonna be third place. I could see that. Like, I mean, like, obviously, like, if it is Mark and Sam at the end, then obviously someone has to be third place with 0 votes, I feel like. I think Chrissy is another one that could be that person. I don't think... I doubt it's obviously, like, Josh. It could be Jordan, for all we know. But then again, like, he's not going to get 0 votes. But then again, like, I guess it's not, like, they don't necessarily have to get 0 votes. I do wonder, like, what are Sam's actual jury chances right now, though? Oh yeah, go through International Survivor? We might as well. I'm pretty confident Rob Dixon got 0. Yeah, Rob Dixon got 0. Actually, Shona also got 0, which is funny. It's funny that, like, yeah, episode 1, 4 people didn't get confessionals. 3 of them are, like, the 3 of the biggest characters from the season. In Rob, Shona, and Craig. The other one's Lance, which, like, who fucking cares about Lance, but still. Let's see, Guy got 4. Well, I mean, like, with these, it's, like, a less accurate count, because, like, these are literally me, just, like, these are my counts, which, like, I didn't pay, like, I didn't, like, actually truly analyze, like, oh, is it 10 seconds in between, whatever. So it's, like, it's not super accurate, but I have Guy at 4. I guess with the other Australian Survivor seasons, it's actually from other people. But Christy had 3. Jericho had 1. But then again, I think it was a good one. Shane had 1, which I think was like her talking about being Shane Gould. P had 4. David had 3. Haley had 4. Mark had 5 this episode, which actually that's pretty high for an Australian Survivor winner to have 5 in the premiere episode. AU deleting a post that got spoiled the next 2 people. I saw that, but like that was for this week, wasn't it? And it was wrong. Like wasn't that posted like this week? Where like, oh, but then people came back. Well, no, because like Michelle was still on there. So like yeah, that couldn't be right then. Yeah, so like it was definitely a fake spoiler. I'm pretty sure. Why are people high on Mariah again? Like, I was high on Mariah. I mean, like, I wasn't, like, super, super high, but, like, I had her, like, what, like 6 or 7 preseason? Where did I have her? 7. Yeah, like, I mean, I felt like she's, like, a very high variance player. At least I thought of her as a high variance player, where I thought, like, it's either she's one of the first few boots, which she ended up being, or she's one of these people that, like, can build really strong social bonds, skate through the game. Again, and if she does have, like, a bit of a killer instinct, possibly win at the end. But yeah, I don't... Like, after seeing her now, I don't think she has much going on game-wise. Oh wait, did I already have medicine? Oh, I do. There we go. Yeah, I think I keep on saying Mariah might be one of the more forgettable people in recent Survivor history by the time we get a few seasons past this. Like, I feel like there's not really much to remember her for outside of like the story of her brother and everything, which is obviously a touching story, but it's like that's pretty much all she got. Did I watch Beyond the Edge? I did. I did not like it. I found it really boring. I started to take notes on it just in case I like actually liked it and decided to do some sort of review on it. I stopped like halfway. It's like I don't care enough. I'm not doing this. To be honest, I'll probably still continue to watch it just because like what the fuck else am I watching at 9 o'clock after Survivor? And it's like usually after Survivor I'm like doing some prep stuff for other things. And also like looking up the confessional charts, like looking up Edgic related things. So it's like why not? I'll have it in the background. But like I'm probably not gonna care enough to do anything, any video specifically about it. Again, I'll probably talk about it in your reality TV, but yeah, I just found it really boring.
What does it take to kill you, eh? Why will you not die?
Like, it's essentially Survivor, but then take out everything I actually like about Survivor. It's like essentially Survivor, but then focus on the challenges and the survival aspects. But then not actually have that many survival aspects because it's clearly they're being given like a whole bunch of stuff. So, yeah, I don't think it's not a show for me. Like, I think it's closer to the what the fuck is it? Naked and Afraid than it is the actual Survivor. Yeah, back to the winner thing. Avi got 4. Lisa got 4. Vanessa got 5. But then again, these are not like the essay ones are not accurate at all.
You can have Altair's books, Ezio.
But yeah, Lorette got 2. GG 3. Heike got 9, which is tied for the most in episode 1. I forgot Simon. Like, I'm looking at this now. Simon had the most confessionals up until episode 5 for that season, for Maldives. That's kind of insane considering who the fuck remembers Simon. I'm looking this up. Like, Cornet had 15 confessionals in the first episode of Champions. That's hilarious. Graham had 2. Tom had 9. Rob Bentley had 5. Nicole had 2. Charlotte had 0 in UK Pulaltika. And Johnny only had 1. So winners typically get really low confessional counts in Survivor UK, which is obviously a trend that doesn't matter. That's kind of insane, actually. That like episode 1 of Survivor UK Panama, Susanna gets 6 confessionals, Tiffany gets 4, and everyone else gets 1 or 2.
I don't think I have the right genes.
But yeah, I don't think confessionals like counts or anything typically matters when it comes to Edgic. It's more so about overall visibility, not necessarily just the confessionals themselves, though obviously you do need typically need the winners to be able to articulate what they're doing.
You were snooping.
Am I out on Mike? No, I'm not out. I do think he had a bad episode too, though. Like, I dropped from 1 to 6 for Mike, but I still think he can win.
It's just following orders.
And like again, we talked about that earlier, where like I feel like the theme of the season is going to be who is the most well-rounded player. Because like that's been brought up multiple times. And I feel like Mike feels like the person that fits into that mold of like someone that is physical, strategic, and social, and like has demonstrated that on the show.
A lot.
I think the problem is that like he gets severely undercut in this episode. With him talking about building the social game, only for like Daniel to like use that against him. But he has technically demonstrated like all 3 facets.
There's no such thing.
In terms of like what the edit is showing us, where they did spend time showing him doing stuff around camp. They did spend time showing him being strategic with the Sapien Sweat thing, and then they did show him now in this episode trying to build up a social game. So it's like he fits the theme The problem is that I feel like he fits the theme like
Sean, it's me.
in a way that
Are you in the
they
airport?
like gave him a lot of negativity
Yeah,
here, which is
Richard
not
Bernie's
necessarily.
dead, right,
It's not great. Mind you, I thought that about Tiffany last season, and then she, like, to me, rebounded quite a bit, even though I was wrong. So maybe that's the trajectory for Mike at this point. Yeah, the one person formed by Jonathan and Omar. Is that what's going to happen? Like, are Jonathan and Omar going to have a kid, and that person's the winner of the season? Is that what this is? Or is it going to be like two winners? Oh, is that what we're going to Are we going to get like Final Tribal Council? It's Omar, Jonathan, and they tie? Is that what this is? Man, I felt like overall like that was a net negative for me, the Jonathan and Omar stuff, with them talking about how like, oh, I'm the brains, he's the brawn. Like that felt to be going against the theme of the season, but I feel like on paper Omar's content is the best so far. But yeah, the season's wide open. Yeah, I don't know who the fuck's winning this. Mind you, it's only episode 2, and like how many times have I been like super solid? But like I feel like at this point, I think the top 10 can still win, and like I can reasonably see situations where they win. And even beyond it, like Roxroy like isn't completely dead. So like technically, I feel like 11 people could possibly win. And even like Lindsay, like even though I don't think Lindsay's going to win, like I can see a scenario where like where she's just getting a really under the radar edit. But again, I don't think Romeo's winning. I don't think Tori is winning, and I don't think. I mean, like Lydia could also fit into that mold of like potentially win. So it's like really, it's most of the cast. Like I think there's only like Romeo and Tori who I think are drawing dead for me. With Romeo, even then, like getting like solid content here and there, it's just that's also mixed with like really bad content. Is X on the bottom player ranking? I don't know. I was thinking about this, like who's at the bottom? Because like this is such a weird first 3 boots here. Where like I think there's an argument for Jackson being number 1. Where Jackson like doesn't seem like he would have been the first boot. Mind you, again, like the thing is, like from his exit interviews, the way he talked is that he was super close to Jonathan, he was super close to Mariah, but then again, Mariah is the first boot from that tribe now. So it's like maybe Jackson and Mariah were on the bottom, but even then, like I think probably Mariah would have gone home first then. So yeah, like I think for me right now, I actually have Jackson above both Mariah and Zach, because I don't think Jackson would have been the first boot from his tribe. But it's like the question of like who's better, Mariah or Zach. I think even that is like kind of tough.
But it is good to be home.
Work.
Because like I don't think Mariah did necessarily anything wrong. But like probably just wasn't active enough of a player, and also was looked at as like more of a physical liability, which is obviously a consequence of like this style of season of 6-person tribes and really physical conditions. So I don't know. Like it's close between them. I actually have Jackson 1 right now, though, out of the 3.
Grazie, dear boy.
No one has left the game with any votes cast against him. Oh, no one left in the game has any votes cast against him. Yeah, that's insane too. Yeah, we've seen 2 people now, the 2 boots that got voted out from votes, both play their shots in the dark, which is probably also an indication that they're not good at hiding who's going home. That both of them use their shot in the dark. But yeah, it's interesting. Am I doing Australian Survivor All Stars redefining the tribes, heroes, and villains? Probably at some point, but it's not like a big priority. Did I ever talk about this? That I did end up prepping a recasting Australian Survivor All Star video. Don't know when the fuck it's coming out, but that is the thing that I plan on doing. But yeah, like I feel like redefining the tribes would probably be something I would do after that at some point. Oh yeah, we did hear about BBAU 2022 probably is going to get officially announced soon. We did get like a bit of a like teaser trailer, and then we did get confirmation that Reggie Bird, who I don't know who it is, but again, supposedly a big name, and Tim is obviously back, which I'm really excited about. So. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing how the season goes.
I would like to see where.
I'm assuming it's going to be premiering in about a month, is what I would guess. Like, I would assume somewhere in April, right?
Oh.
House nominations are back. Is that a thing? Like, House nominations in terms of, like, the House Wait, how's that work, though? How'd that work?
When I first set out,
I should watch Temptation Island. I mean,
I sought wisdom.
Probably won't.
The contents of Altair's library.
Where's the Big Brother teaser? I mean, it's on the, it's really nothing, but it's on Twitter, on their Twitter.
But I never expected to find
when's $1 Million Island premiering? I don't know. Like, has it filmed?
5 years ago.
Like, I don't even know if it's filmed yet, has it? Like, I know they announced it, but, like, yeah, they just greenlit it.
But they're growing in numbers.
So I don't think they filmed it yet. So it might not be for a while. I would assume not until at least the end of this year.
Not just one, 2 angry sons. It's a familiar pattern with these royals. When the Sultan calls, the princes draw their swords.
I assume it's going to be, if they are doing House nominations, I'm assuming it's going to be closer to the old BBAU style. But it doesn't really make that much sense, considering, again, it's pre-taped. So they can't do a public vote to vote people out. So, like, that doesn't make much sense in how they're actually going to do it. Favorite BB player ever? Or BB Can player ever? Actually, who is my favorite BB Can player ever? I actually don't even know. Like, is it, I don't know, Anthony, maybe? Godfrey, maybe? Potentially Netta? I don't know. I actually don't know. Paris, maybe? Actually, I don't know, probably not Paris.
The whole city wakens to welcome you, Ezio.
By the way, this week, Kalina is giving me big Paris vibes. With the way that she was, like, very indecisive on what she was doing.
That gives us some breathing room.
Obviously not to the degree that Paris was during the Ali Boot week, but still.
But they will feel bad about it later.
Why does Canada not have Survivor?
It's not so bad, really.
I don't know for sure. I think it might be because they already have Survivor US, and like, especially now that US is like opened up to Canada, I feel like that makes it even less likely. But even before that, I feel like maybe it's like a production thing of like Survivors and Morks. But then again, they have Amazing Race Canada. But I think Amazing Race Canada stays in Canada, right? So it's like, would they do Survivor in Canada? So I don't know. Does Quebec have Survivor? Well, that's interesting. Yes, I don't know. I don't know why they haven't done like a full-blown Survivor Canada. But I think at this point it's probably less likely than it ever has been, considering Survivor US has opened up to Canada. Ica, I'm not an enormous Ica fan. I think she's great TV. But like I've never been like a big Ica fan outside of that. Do I go in? Yeah, I do, right? It's like having Survivor California, Texas. I mean, the thing is, like, Quebec is, like, obviously largely French, right? So, like, I'm assuming the show is in French. So I think that's, like, kind of the distinguishing thing there. And that's why, like, Quebec has all their own individual shows, like, for their, like, French audience.
Ezio and I were ambushed on the way here. I'd like some of you to do a sweep of the area. Hey, man.
Ica, he seems like a shitty person outside the show. I mean, to a degree.
And you, Ezio.
Like, I think she's someone that, like... Yeah, I mean, like, I think to a degree.
There is a blacksmith nearby. He's a friend.
One idea.
Like, I just think she's not really willing to hold any punches when she thinks she's being wronged. I think that's a thing. Swatzy replied to your comment. Well, good for you. What about Dane? I mean, like, he's fine. I don't think he's that entertaining. Like, he's kind of, like, on the same level as, like, a John Party for me, but even then, I think John Party's probably more entertaining than Dane. So I don't know, like I feel like it's probably like Godfrey. Oh fuck off! I don't have enough money. I'm an idiot. I have a pickpocket, don't I? Yeah, I feel like it's probably like a Godfrey, a potentially Kevin Martin. Probably like Anthony's up there. There we go. There's a country singer named John Party.
Praise the
Why?
heavens. We feared we had lost our mentor to the vices of the big city.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about any rumors of things that are going to happen in future episodes.
So, what's on your mind?
Tell me more about the Templars.
What is this about Tim
Call
Dormer?
them Byzantines.
Oh yeah, I did see these
Byzantine
tweets. I didn't like
Empire was
actually fully
overthrown
read through
60
them,
years
but I
ago.
did see that he was like tweeting about his experience. Yeah, like I saw the thing that like it was so fun, and I had to teach them a few tricks I learned in BB Can. I saw that part of it. Yeah, I'll always be a fan of the original format, but I kind of fell in love with the new challenge-based
Suppose it is
game.
up to me to find out.
It's you.
This new season is a great merge of both formats, with House Noms brought back.
I grew up
Good
using
mix of game. What does that mean, though? Like, I don't get what that means.
Show me how it works.
Like, because how would that work? Because, like, wouldn't House Noms just lead to, like, the general consensus just being voted out? But then also, what are the challenges for at that point? Are they just immunity challenges? Where House Noms, it's essentially the entire house picks nominee. Like, essentially, with BB UK, what used to be is that everyone would pick two people that they want to be nominated, and then like every single person in the house would vote, and the two people with the highest number of votes would get nominated, and then it would be a public vote to decide who get voted out. But they can't do that here because the season is pre-filmed. So, like, that doesn't make sense in that sense. But if we're doing, like, the House Noms and then people vote them out, then, like, that just leads to a consensus vote. But I did like how BBAU used to do it a bit more, because, like, what they do is they give each person, like, 5 points, and then they're able to distribute those points, like, any way they want to. And then the person who has the most points gets nominated. I think that's a more interesting, more strategic way to have the game. But I don't get how this would work with this like type of BBAU, because again, we know it's pre-filmed. It filmed like in October or whatever of last year, right, or November or something like that. So like we know it's already been filmed. Cool. Why didn't it work the first time? Am I enjoying BB Can 10? I am. It's a train wreck, but will be interesting. I think I'm kind of worried that we might get a bit more of a stabilized house in the next few weeks, especially if Kyle does go home. I feel like that's gonna significantly what the fuck happened? He just spazzed the fuck out. But yeah, I feel like that's gonna like significantly harm like the craziness or the chaoticness of the season. But it's fun so far. Again, this Kyle week is one of the best weeks in the history of the show. Like, it's fucking insane. Like, really, it's insane, like, how this guy that comes into this week, who looks like he's about to become the Derek figure, actively blows up his game to where now he's, like, one of the biggest targets for next week. Like, it is insane. Like, it's weird because it's, like, it's kind of, like, BB Can 9 levels, but, like, not really. Like, it's, like, a lot more chaotic as of right now than BB Can 9, which is, like, even more insane. Because, like, BB Can 9, like, even though it was a lot of chaotic, there was a lot of chaotic gameplay, a lot of people, like, changing their minds on things, it always kept, like, a very similar power structure for a lot of it. It was always the, like, the trio. Well, essentially, it was this, initially it was the Sunsetters versus the Kyle, Rowe, Austin, I forgot what their name was. But, and then, like, Tina and Tara were in the middle. And, like, that kind of held for a lot of the game. Here, like, we've, like, changed power structures almost every week. I'm a fucking idiot. With this, obviously, this last week being a major shift to where, like, essentially the power structure from last week is entirely gone. Like, there's, like, no real remnants of it. Where the Savage 7, which was the core alliance, is now essentially split in two. where they're essentially the two leaders of the two different sides. And I remember like last stream, people were like asking me, what do you think about Helena flipping the power structure? And it's like, I hadn't like been caught up on the feed, so like I didn't know if she like actually did or not. Now being caught up, it's like Helena did not flip the power structure. Helena's on the bottom of every power structure. That's the problem with Helena's game right now, is that essentially she's on the bottom of both power structures. Where there's two power, like, and essentially also, it was not anyone that really did this outside of Kyle. Like, Kyle blew up the power structure, and through that pushed away the people in his power structure that caused the formation of a second power structure. But it was, like, pretty much all Kyle's doing in creating both sides of the house through, like, his own actions. But it's like, in terms of Helena, like, Helena's on the bottom of both groups at this point. Like, because again, like, both groups are, like, have this foundation of Savage 7 members. And Helena, like, is kind of, like, she's a little bit better integrated within the like, Summer, Tanisha sort of side, because, like, at least she has an alliance, like, more solid alliance with them. But, like, she's still on the bottom of both sides. So, it's like she's not in danger anytime soon. But she's not really, like, the greatest positioned in terms of, like having people want to take her to the very end at this point. Okay, cool. My internet just crapped out on my computers. That's something. Anyway, if Dave and Matt from NZ were on Blood vs. Water, how I think they'll do? I mean, they're both, like, competent players. They're both pretty good players, actually.
Having fun?
And, like, they very much fit into, like, the same mold as, like, a Josh and a Jordan. So, like,
that's right.
They could potentially be in that position.
Do the work.
And to be honest, they're probably better players than Josh and Jordan. Like, Josh is such a weird player to assess from this season, because, like, he's obviously been, like, near invisible. But he's also, like, clearly, like, one of the better players of the season. So it's like, it's really weird to assess his game when, like, we haven't really seen much, but, like, from looking at the footage and looking at, like, how the game is laid out, like, he's clearly one of the better players there. Where, like, again, like, they just, like, out of nowhere bring up, oh, he's super close to Chrissy and David, he's gonna bring them into the alliance of Mark and Sam. It's like, where did this come from? But yeah, it's like, I feel like Josh is gonna be a weird one when I get around to the player ranking.
She always bounces back.
Omar talking about using Jonathan as meat shield was good for him. I mean, not necessarily, though. Because, like, the thing is, like, Omar didn't say he was using Jonathan as a meat shield. He said, Jonathan is my meat shield, I'm his brain shield. Like, that's a different sort of circumstance. That doesn't, like, come off as, like, oh, I'm being super strategic right now, I'm using Jonathan. It's more so, like, we're aligned. We're using each other. We're in an alliance. Like, that's more so the vibe I got. This season, 6 people won comps, 9 people won. Yeah, I did see that. That, like, if you look at the chart of, like, who won HOH, who won Veto, and everyone that's been nominated by the end of the week, like, it's all, like, different people, like, which is kind of insane. Like, I think the only people, like, that haven't done anything in terms of been nominated, won Veto, or won HOH. Oh, yeah, and also, yeah, that's the thing that's why it works, because the Veto, a nominee has won the Veto every week, right? So that's why it works that way. But yeah, so I think, like, Gino, Summer, and Tanisha are, like, the 3, right? That haven't won a comp and haven't been nominated. Maybe I'm missing one. How's the math work out on that? Whatever. But either way, it's like, yeah, it is weird that, like, the majority of the house has either won a comp or been on the block at this point. Did I know that BB20 up to the first Scotty boot, Falte had 5 HOH wins and only got rid of 2 level 6 members? Level 6 only had 2 HOH wins. I didn't know the exact stats, but, like, I assumed it was, like, around there. Because, I mean, yeah, it was, like, them manipulating Falte the entire time. And all too fair, also one of the situations is Rockstar, right? So like that's kind of a
Watch this.
like a weird circumstance where that was mostly due to a twist. Is Herman the top of my power ranking? I don't have a power ranking. Like I only do with Big Brother. I only do the power ranking like after every round is done. So like mine aren't updated with this week in mind. So I think Kyle's number 2. But obviously redoing it, like Kyle, like obviously towards the bottom. I think if I were to redo it now, it would probably be.
I'll head to the bazaar. You stay here. Do you see that tower?
See.
I think it would be Summer and Tanisha, possibly,
I can't be in
towards the
places
top.
at once, but with you here,
Like Herman would be
I don't
high
have to
too. The problem is I think Herman's a bigger target, and also is more so actively lying to the guys to where I think they're going to be more upset at him by the time the votes come out. But again, like, and this is like as of right now, obviously, like this will be different by the time. I assume it will be different by the time immediately after the vote off, considering we'll have a bit more context on how they're going to react to things. But like this isn't the greatest. Like it's not the greatest week for Herman, but it's also like not completely detrimental. But like Herman could have been this person that like played both sides. But I don't feel like that's the route that he's actually like taking at this point, where he is like more so solidifying himself within like the Summer, Josh, Tanisha side of things. Oh, are we doing tower defense?
Is Yusuf with you?
Oh, we really blew through
An attack
this.
in the city demands his attention. What is our situation?
Is Betty at the bottom? Betty was at the bottom, I'm pretty sure.
Are your men
Let's
ready
see.
for another fight?
BB
They are
Cam.
now.
Yeah, Betty was at the bottom. And then it was Steph, then Jess. Tanisha was number 11, Summer was 10. So again, they would go up quite a bit. Yeah, so this is my power ranking coming into this week. Gino was number 1. Again, not there anymore. Kyle was number 2. Not there anymore. Mind you, Gino's still in a decent spot. Like, despite Kyle possibly being on his way out and like all the harm that Kyle did to Gino's game, like Gino's still in a decent position in this game. And again, pretty much due to pretty much nothing he did. Like he's done pretty much nothing. But he's just like such an affable guy that people don't want to target him. But yeah, then who's at 3? Herman at 3. Marty at 4. Which again, this is like at the beginning of the week where Kyle had just won HOH, and I was under the assumption that Kyle was going to take out Betty and like fully solidify the power structure, which obviously he does not. I love tower defense, everyone's favorite mini game in Assassin's Creed. If Kyle wins veto next week, Gino might go. I don't think he would go. I think Marty would go, because like from what I understand, the plan is Kyle, Marty. If Kyle wins veto, put up Gino, but then Marty is still the target. Or even like put up Kyle and Gino to begin with, but then again, if Kyle wins the veto, then put up Marty, and Marty would be the target at that point. Oh, what am I doing? I'm not even paying attention. I'm not doing the thing.
Hold that point for me. Take your stand there.
Tower defense is lame unless it's Plants vs. Zombies. Yeah, I've never been a big tower defense person in general. And I typically try to avoid it in this game because it's shit. Mind you, like, the people that criticize, like, that say, oh, Revelation sucks because it has tower defense are, like, fucking idiots. Because, like, you can skip this. Like, it's like, you only have to do it once in the main story, and then after that, if you pay attention to your notoriety level, you can just avoid it entirely. But whatever. Marty flipped on Kyle? Yeah. Kind of. Like, he's not, like, fully out on Kyle, from what I've seen, but, like, he is, like, not happy with him. And is, like, gonna vote, to keep Josh at this point. But, like, I don't think he would target Kyle, though. I think that's the thing. I think Daniel could have a David-type run. Yeah, that's what I said in the preseason, right? Is that I think Daniel could be the David, which, again, doesn't win, but could be, like, a really good player, get very close.
I need you to hold that point.
less dominant but similar character. Yeah. I mean, how dominant? Like, I've always struggled with, like, concerning, like, how dominant is David in Millennium Gen X? Because, like, he is, like, technically he's the figurehead of his alliance. He is the person that wins if he gets to the end. But he's also, like, not actually in control of that much, even though he is, like, the main leader of his alliance, where, like, it's mostly him, like, following other people. It's like he has such a big target on his back at that point that he's not really in a position to where he can actually control the game. Like, he's more so, like, going along with whatever, like, Hannah wants to do, or whatever Adam wants to do, more so than, like, actually controlling the game, particularly in the back half. Like, I'm talking about, like, Final 9 on. Essentially, like, after the rock draw. So, like, that's something I kind of struggle... I'm an idiot, I just wasted that. But yeah, that's something I struggle with when it comes to, the, rankings when it comes to David Wright. Is Gino or Josh in a better spot? I would say Gino? Like, it's weird because, like, obviously Josh is in the majority group right now. While... Or Josh... Wait, what did I say? Yeah, Josh is in the majority group right now while Gino isn't. But also, I feel like there are people that are targeting Josh, though, while no one is actually targeting Gino right now. So it's like, I would actually... Yeah, I would say probably Gino's in the better position right now.
Defend that area. Hold that point for me. Secure that point.
Well, flipping on, Zeke was mostly Adam. Yeah. Again, I think it was, like, very little of David. I don't know if I would really credit Adam that much. Like, I mean, I think you do in the sense that he thought that he could do, like, the pendulum strategy with Adam and Hannah. And, like, you have to give them credit for that part of it. But, like, in terms of, like, actually getting Will to flip itself, like, I think Will was always going to do that. Or, like, I think that was just his plan coming into the game, was to always enact the pendulum strategy. But, yeah. And then, like, beyond that, yeah, it's like, what, final 8 round getting rid of Will. Like, that was portrayed to us as Adam's move, I believe. But even then, like, again, like, I don't know how much, like, real control David had over that. Sunday vote was Hannah's move. Where David was just following along there because he thought he was going to go home. Jay vote was just everyone voting for Jay because it's Jay. Brett vote, again, was Hannah's move, mostly. Where David was just, like, banking on Hannah to stay in the game. So, like, there's not really many positions, like, in the end game where, like, David is actively, like, controlling the vote and, like, leading the vote in a certain direction. Thoughts on Steph now that she's going? Kind of mediocre player. Like, it's really bad that JC... I mean, to be fair, this is also an indictment on JC, but the fact that JC wants to get rid of Steph at this point is, like, really bad. Like, she's voting... And what's weird is that she's voting to keep Steph. But, like, she actually wants Steph out, though. Despite, like, Steph thinking that JC's her number one person. And, like, and Steph was JC's number one person, like, until, like, earlier this week. It's like, that's pretty bad. I mean, I'll say that, like, I don't know how much at fault she really is for her boot, necessarily. Or, like, I mean, she's at fault for not positioning herself better coming into the week, but I don't think she did that much wrong over the course of this week that caused her eventual boot. Or, like, it's mostly, like, Kyle being Kyle. Because, like, the only reason she's even on the block right now, like, the only reason she was on the block to begin with is because, like, they thought that Steph would be better in competitions than Betty. So they were like, oh, we'll use Steph as the pawn over Betty so that Steph could potentially beat Moose in the veto competition. But that's obviously backfired on them now. David made the fake IO, yeah. I mean, like, that's something, like, I don't know, how much credit do you really get? Like, that's not really, like, him stirring the vote, necessarily. It's more so, like, pacifying Jay in terms of making it so Jay doesn't continue to look for an idol. Which is a good move. Again, it's a good move, but, like, it's not, like, one that I would, like, attribute to dominance in the game. especially when it's like pretty much like everyone was going to vote Jay in that position. Even Jay knew everyone was voting for Jay. So again, it's mostly like a move to like stop Jay from finding an idol, more so than like actually controlling the vote to get rid of Jay. Yeah, oh yeah, I talked about that like at the very beginning of the stream, but I don't feel like most people were here. But yeah, I did finish my challenge rewatch. I actually, right before I started stream, I solidified my season ranking, and I'm probably going to record it tomorrow.
Come meet my new friends.
So that's something. I'm still a bit confused. Like, I was like, I don't know what to do with the modern seasons. Like, that's like, I feel like the list is like very solidified outside of like the last 3 seasons. Where like, I don't know what the fuck to do with Total Madness, Double Agents, and Spies, Lies, and Allies. Where, again, I have them very low. And I'm debating on, like, are they the 3 worst seasons?
By about 25 years.
Like, the order I don't have, like I'm pretty confident about the order. Where to me, like, Spies, Lies, and Allies and Double Agents are, to me, essentially the same season. Except that I feel like Double Agents has more of a storyline than Spies, Lies, and Allies. Where, like, I don't know what they're doing with Spies, Lies, and Allies.
In every victory.
Like, realistically, like, they both start off both kind of strong. They both have, like, really solid, like, a first, like, 5-6 episodes or so. But then, like, the back, like, 2/3 of the season is, like, really fucking boring. Now, I will say, I do think the rookie cast of Spies, Lies, and Allies is better than Double Agents. And I think, like, Spies, Lies, and Allies in general has, like, a more, like, fun vibe to it. But, like, Double Agents is, like, a lot more serious. Like, they're both serious, but, like, kind of in, like, different way. Like, where, like, Spies, Lies, and Allies is still serious in the sense that, like, it takes the competition element of it, like, super seriously. But, like, I feel like there's a lot more, like, lighthearted moments. While, well, yeah, like, Double Agents is, like, super serious in, like, a way that there's not much humor across the season. But I feel like there are so many more, like, interesting storylines across the season. So, like, that's the kind of debate there. And, like, when I say for last, I mean last out of the proper challenge seasons. Like, they're not below the first 4, and then, even then I have, like, a couple other ones below that don't have, like, the proper format, that we currently have, but
You are full of surprises.
out of any, like, proper challenge seasons, I'm debating on, like, are they at the bottom, or, like, are they, like, a few spots above? Because, like, I feel like they're grouped together. Like, I feel like I would group all 3 of them together. It's just a matter of, like, are they above, like, seasons like Inferno 3, which is one I don't like, or are they above, like, Invasion of the Champions, which is another one I don't particularly like. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure on that just yet. Once the Vet Alliance ends, I think Spies, Lies, and Allies picks up. I don't think so, though. I mean, the thing is, like, it doesn't ever end, though. Like, it's just that it changes to a different group of people. But it's like, I mean, like, not a different group of people, but, like, it minimizes the people in the Vet Alliance, but the Vet Alliance is still there.
Make me proud.
Like, it's essentially, like, really, the Vet Alliance is essentially a cover for the Big Brother Alliance, essentially. Big Brother plus Tori and Devin. Like, that's essentially the core. And then CT is being kept around because he's, like, too dangerous or whatever. And then you have, I don't even know why Nelson gets through a lot of that game, to be honest. But, still, yeah, like, it to me, it never picks up after. Like, I feel like, actually, the part that was the most interesting was the part when the Vet Alliance was actually there, and when, like, the rookies were being idiots and going after each other.
There they go.
I feel like that was the more, like, I think that, like, the Coriel Michelle versus, like, Huey and Amber,
We're nearly there.
which I guess, to be fair, that is with the Vets turning against each other, but it's against Amber, who's, like, always on the bottom anyway. But I think that was, like, one of the most interesting episodes of the season. I think the premiere is really strong, with the Michaela boot and everything. The Kells stuff is really interesting too, but it's like a lot of the season after that is just so boring to me. Oh fuck! I was looking at the screen. Gotta say, if Joel, yeah, you mean Kyle, with his HOH is 90%. Yeah, again, like I talked about this earlier. Kyle, I think this is fundamentally one of the worst HOHs in the history of the show.
Kill him, then climb the tower and light their signal.
Where it's like, again, like it's hard to find another HOH where someone comes into the game, debatably number one person that like in the best position in the house, and comes out of the week. With like, okay, he glitched out there, but comes out that week with like all but like 3 people coming for him. And to be fair, it's like around half the house I think would directly come for him, while like I think Gino and JC are still on his side. Marty has flipped on him, but also isn't willing to actually take him out, from what I understand. And then you have like people like a Kevin and a Helena who like I don't know if they're gonna be coming after Kyle. Because, like, I feel like, actually, to be honest, for them, I think it would be better to keep Kyle around, to keep him as this, like, target for everyone else. Though, to be fair, it's also dangerous to just straight up leave him off the block if they win HOH.
Whenever the Templars commandeer one of our dens,
yeah, I'm assuming it's going to be 9-2 tomorrow, with only Gino and JC
and you might see him strutting about
voting to
Use
keep
those legendary
staff.
senses of yours, Ezio, and scan the streets. You'll find our target.
Okay. The Fessy boot. I mean, the Fessy boot's fine. Like, I feel like that's, like, after the Fessy boot's, like, kind of where the season goes kind of downhill. I feel like the first like 4 or 5 episodes. I think the Fessy boot's in like episode 6, right? I think that was the weird like 2-parter. Yeah, like I feel like up until that point, yeah, it's like it's a fine season. But it's like I think especially once the the cell twists or whatever, the team format starts. I think that's where the season like really goes downhill for me. For at that point, it's like I don't fucking care anymore. It's like I just find it like really fucking boring. And it's weird too because like I think that's actually probably a better format had they like started the season that way. But I always hate it when they radically change the format like halfway through the season. Like I hate it when they did it in like War of the Worlds. Come on. Apparently Twitter loves Marianne. I'm sure they do. Yeah, Marianne is for sure the fan favorite this season. Like, that's what they're trying to bring her up as. Or again, I think that's where her edit is leading, is that they're trying to prop her up as this, like, fan favorite figure in a way they did it for, like, Elaine. Yeah, I haven't talked about the Marianne Zach thing. Yeah, that was fucking weird. Yeah, like, what a bizarre... I mean, the thing is also, like, I think, like, again, actually, now I think about it, they're not going to put Kyle up right away, are they? I forgot about that. They're probably thinking about backdooring Kyle, aren't they? So it probably will be, like, Gino and Marty on the block right away, and then hope that Kyle doesn't win veto, and then nominate him as the backdoor. Elaine's a much better player than Marianne, though. I mean, is she? Like, I don't think Elaine's that good of a player. I don't say, like, a much better player. Like, I think, like, by episode 2, like, maybe. But, like, I think by the end of the season, like, I don't think it's, like, Elaine's not that good of a player. Especially, like, by a swap where, like, Elaine's... I mean, too fair, actually, no, Elaine wasn't going home, right? Because they were going to flip the vote on Aaron. But, still, like, not in a great position there.
I'm seeing very strange activity in the Animus.
And I feel like no one was ever going to let her get to the end.
Idle, but the system monitor is spiking regularly, sometimes as high as 85%.
Too fair, I think the same thing with Marianne.
I'm not sure.
Like, we're only 2 episodes in.
Desmond's signs are stable.
Well, if there isn't a problem, let's not try to fix anything.
Yeah, Marianne screams fan fave just in general, not just Twitter. Mind you, I do think she's also, like, perfect for Twitter. But, yeah, I think in general she's the fan favorite. I do, I'm pretty sure there's also going to be people that are annoyed with her. But I do think the vast majority are thinking of her as a fan favorite.
Think about this.
Do I have the island or Total Madness higher? Well, again, that's the debate. That's part of the debate of like where do I land like the 3 seasons as of right. Like I think I'm gonna have Total Madness lower. I think. Like the Island's a weird season in the sense that it's like one of the most important seasons in the history of the show, but it's also a fundamentally different season from every season of the show. To where like realistically, like it should be down there with like the seasons that don't have a proper challenge format. Like down with like the Battle of the Sexes, the Battle of the Seasons, and then obviously the first 4. But it's like so fundamentally important to the entire series. And especially like of the storylines at that point in the series, where like moving from that point, it's like pretty much up until Rivals, it's like a pretty important season in the sense that it's shows the foundation of, well, one, it's like the first season where Johnny Bananas is the main character, mind you, in a bad way, to where he's a fucking asshole, and like that's also like a problem of the season, is the ickiness around it, but like it's the first season that Johnny Bananas wins. It's the first season where he's the main character of the show. It's another season that has Kenny winning the season. It's a season that starts the Evelyn versus Johnny feud that gets continued in the Ruins. And there's a lot. And they also have like Kellyanne being a really big figure there. You even have like Johnny and Rachel having a feud there that ends up continuing to Battle of the Exes. There's quite a bit on the island that's playing a factor. Also, it's like Derek's also second win, right? Really, the winners of that season are like a really strong grouping there. Also, like the Evelyn Paula feud that leads to Rivals that's from the island where they, which by the way is also like kind of a dumb rivalry, but it's from the ending of the season where they pick Evelyn over Paula. But again, there's a lot of important stuff that happens on the islands. It's like kind of in a similar way to Invasion for me, where like I don't like Invasion of the Champions, but it's also a very important season. But like it's also like right now I have the island one spot above Invasion, mainly because like the island's shorter and Invasion's just like really fucking bloated. Why is Gamer love Invasion? I think he likes the newbie cast, I think, right? Or like the what were they called? The Challengers? Like, I don't know what they were called. But because like it's the first season where like Ashley's like this main character. Amanda, same thing. Nelson, Corey. Who else is big on that season? But anyway, it's like kind of it's like a fundamental season to the show. Like it's a season where like those figures become main characters on the challenge. Oh yeah, Australian Survivor twist. I mean, like the thing is, like I think the twists have actually been pretty good up until Purgatory here. Like I actually think like up until this point, like this has actually been the best season twist wise for Australian Survivor to me. It's just Purgatory is so bad though.